Hello guys, welcome to the 3D market commentary for today. Today is Monday, February the 28th. Let me just put the disclaimers up there on the screen, top left hand corner, so please read them even if you need to pause the video to do that. Now, our 3D market commentary, for those that might not know, is a video that we do every day, Monday to Friday, to accompany an email that we send out every day, Monday to Friday, to our free members. Now that email goes through major world markets looking at the three main statistical elements of them. So we'll look at that in a second. Just before we do so, just to point you to where you can go for support and resources. So you have Becky at tradewithufos.com. That's my email address, so you can get me on that. There's also support at tradewithufos.com, so you can email us on that as well if you have any questions. Just adjust the camera there a sec. I think I've got glare. And we can also go to this link here, let me just bring it up, which is tradewithufos.com/Becky. Now from this link, you can get different apps and platforms. You can scroll down, you can book one-on-one coaching. And if you scroll down a bit further, you can log in for free and ask questions here. Now, it might be that somebody else has already asked the question that you have, and the answer is already here for you to find. Or it might be that you're doing somebody else that favor by posting the question yourself. But different places you can go for support and resources. Now, let's bring up the email that I was telling you about that we send out every day that goes through the major world markets. And of course, it's relevant to market data. So we'll look at that as well. We'll bring up our watch list, make it a bit easier. Okay, so the three elements that we look at when assessing the markets, the main three elements that we look at. First thing is market climate, which essentially means what's the likely upcoming market direction? Is it likely to go up? Is it likely to go down? Or is it not likely to go either direction? Now we use an app to help us. It's called AutoClimate. It's a free app on most platforms that you can get it on. And what this does is tell us where the probabilities lie. If we had a thick red dot, ignore the lines, focus on the dots. A thick red dot tells us probability is down. A thick blue dot tells us probability is up, and a thin dot of either colour tells us probability is in either direction. So we'll look at that per market to figure out where the probabilities lie. Then we'll look at buy and sell UFOs. So in this context, UFO stands for unfilled orders, and essentially what it means is where are lots of buyers and where are lots of sellers? Where are they buying and selling at? Which prices are they buying and selling? And that's useful to know because buyers likely push the price up, sellers likely push the price down. So we want to know where there's lots of buying and selling happening. So we use an app again, it's called Auto UFOs, and that helps us by showing us where these are. If it's a green UFO, like the one I'm pointing to here, that shows us where the buyers are. If it's a red UFO, that shows us where the sellers are. So we'll look at that per market as well. And then we'll look at market volatility, which is essentially how quickly we expect the markets to move. So we'll look at each of these elements per market. On each market, we are looking at a daily chart. So different things happen on different timeframes, but we're looking at a daily timeframe for these markets. So we're starting with the S&P 500, which is the top 500 US stocks. And what we see here is that we have a thin dot on our AutoClimate. That tells us there's not enough probability either way. Now we've had a lot of stops and starts there to the downside where it's dropped and then paused and then dropped and then paused. And we've seen that on and off over the last couple of weeks. Currently today, it's in that pause phase. That might be a pause and continue. It might be a pause and change direction. We don't know. All we know is that it's a pause, in which case, no need to do anything if we don't have clear directions or probability in either way. Now, in terms of buyers and sellers, we have buyers down here between 3983.75 to 3933.75. So quite a way away from current price. We have sellers a bit closer to us between 4484.50 to 4422.75. Overall, if we were to come up and hit those sellers today and they push price down, then we'd see probability down. But overall, not enough probability in either direction today for us to call it. In terms of volatility, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year on the S&P 500 of 33.19%. So in a day, that's 90.13 points. In a week, 198.41 points. And in 1 month, 413.02 points. Again, that's either up or down. So that's the S&P 500. Overall for today, not enough probabilities in either direction. We'll move on to crude oil. And as I load this, just to point your attention here to the different courses that we offer. Now, we do courses in futures, stocks, forex, backtesting, trading plans, and psychology. Now, most of our courses come with a 3-month complimentary access to the apps as well. Now, AutoClimate is a free app on most platforms that you can get it on anyway. But Auto UFOs is a paid-for app. It's a monthly subscription. Now, depending on which platform you use, it depends on how much it costs. But most of the time, it is cheaper to get a course and get the apps for free for 3 months than it would be to simply just subscribe to the apps, which, by the way, you can. You can just subscribe directly to use Auto UFOs. You don't have to do a course, but as I said, it's often cheaper to do it that way. Okay, coming back to crude oil, again, a thin dot here, showing us not enough probability, not enough confirmation one way or another. Now, with oil, we've seen it just keep going up and up and up. And of course, recently, especially with what's happening in Russia and Ukraine at the moment, we've seen a lot of movement, a lot of wiki movement, a lot of jumping around. So again, AutoClimate is telling us to keep away today. I don't think that's a bad idea. In terms of buyers and sellers, we have no sellers that we can see. We have buyers down here at 80.47 to 77.83, which is a good $15 away from where we are now. So overall, not any clear direction on oil. In terms of volatility with oil, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year by 49.5%. So in a day, that's 3 points. In a week, 6.61 points. And in a month, 13.75 points, either up or down. That's crude oil. The next market here is gold. Now, just to highlight here about coaching and support, we offer a lot of coaching and support online for free. So by all means, join us on our sessions on YouTube and Facebook and places like that. And you can go to that link that I showed you at the start to look at frequently asked questions and ask us questions. That's all for free. We do also have a closed coaching community, which gives our members access to more resources and live sessions. So check that out as well if you'd like to. Okay, so gold, once again, thin dot, indecision. Again, not surprising, unfortunately, considering the situation at the moment. Not surprising that a lot of our major world markets are not really sure what they're doing, how they're reacting to it. So again, with gold, not enough probability in either direction, nothing to be done. Now, if I squidge this down a bit, we can see that reasonable distance away, we have sellers at 2060.8 to 2027.8. And we have buyers, again, a reasonable distance away between 1815.8 to 1788.5. So again, overall, not close enough to either stacks of buyers or sellers for them to really make a difference today, and unconfirmed on the climate. In terms of volatility on gold, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year by 18.4%. So in a day, 22.07 points. In a week, 48.59 points. And in a month, 101.14 points, either up or down. So that's gold. Now, the next market is the US dollar. The US dollar is responsible for about 80% of transactions worldwide daily. So be aware of it. Whether you trade it or not, can't hurt to know what that's doing. So the US dollar for today, the first of our markets so far, that's giving us any clear direction. Thick blue dot probability upwards on the US dollar on a daily chart. And we have buyers here between 96.25 to 95.65. And we have sellers here between 98.55 to 97.935. Overall, probably won't hit either of those today. So it's a climate, thick blue dot, probability upwards that's giving us our direction today. In terms of volatility, we'd expect a yearly movement on the dollar by 7.72%. So in a day, 0.47 points. In a week, 1.04 points. and in a month 2.16 points, either up or down. Okay, last but not least is bakkt Bitcoin. Now, as I load Bitcoin, just to point your attention down here towards our top platform, it stands for Predictive Options Planner. So if you're an options trader, there are exclusive apps and resources that can help you on top. But even if you're not an options trader, you can use it for stocks and Forex and futures and analysis on any other market. So check that out. Okay, so bakkt Bitcoin is showing us a thick red dot, probability to the downside. Now we have sellers quite a distance away, between 44,440 to 43,600. And we have buyers quite a distance away, 32,820 to 31,615. So overall, probability coming to the downside there from the climate. In terms of volatility on Bitcoin, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year of 78.68%. In a day, that's 1,900.65 points. In a week, 4,184.08 points. And in a month, 8,709.85 points. Okay, so that's each of our 5 markets that we've looked at. And for each of them, we've looked at 3 major elements to do with the statistics and the probabilities. We've looked at market climate, which is using an app called AutoClimate to help us figure out where the probabilities lie for the upcoming market direction, up, down, or nowhere. We've then looked at buy and sell UFOs. Where do we have buyers that could push price up? Where do we have sellers that could push price down? And what are the prices associated with that? And then we've looked at market volatility, which is how quickly we expect these markets to move or how far we expect them to move within these given timeframes. Now, one more thing before we wrap up is our weekly economic calendar. We get this from fxstreet.com and we filter by high impact news because we want to know which scheduled news reports are likely to impact the markets that we trade. Now, obviously, at the moment, as with any time, there's always going to be unexpected news as well. That's to be expected, is that we have unexpected news that could impact the markets. Especially at the moment with what is happening in Ukraine, expect a little bit more volatility, I would say. Now, today being Monday, we have some news coming out today that could affect European markets, Chinese markets, it looks like Argentina, I think, and Australian markets as well. So check those out if you trade in those areas or if you trade those currencies. Any questions? You can email me if you'd like, or you can go to tradewithufos.com/Becky, get different apps and platforms from here, book one-on-one coaching if you'd like, or scroll down. You might see the answer to your question here, or you can log in for free and ask it yourself. Okay, so today being Monday, I will wish you guys a great start to your trading week. I will see you again very soon. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.